Hello guys, hope you guys are having an awesome weekend. Eric at SoCal Cigars here. I am having an awesome weekend, and it's going to be more awesome right now because I'm going to have some smoke. Um, I'm going to review a cigar that as of about 4 days ago I didn't even know existed, which for me is odd because it is a Drew Estate cigar, part of the Undercrown series. So how this got past my radar, no idea, but it definitely did. If you've seen most of my videos, at one point you probably saw one where I was talking about how I never had an issue with signing up on websites to receive emails. You know, like I said, most people hate spam. When it comes to cigars, I don't mind spam at all. So I got an email about a week ago, 4 days ago maybe, from Cigars Direct about this right here. It is the Drew Estate Undercrown ShadyXX 2020 limited edition cigars. Had no clue, no idea these existed. As you should know by now, if you watch my channel, I'm very up on Drew Estate's items and never even heard of this one. So the good news is, for a review, I don't know a thing about the cigar. I've never had one. I've never seen a review on one. Like I said, I watch a lot of cigar channels on YouTube. I've never seen anyone even mention this cigar, so this one is definitely a new one for me. So I guess that's kind of cool because I'm going to be basically giving you a review completely unbiased, as in, you know, I normally give unbiased reviews anyway, but there's been no outside influence on this cigar. I've got no idea what to expect. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read to you what it says on the back of this box, because this is what kind of interested me about the cigar, was that it was a tie-in to the music industry. So I thought that was different, and it caught my attention enough to where about 2 minutes into that email I was clicking to order. So here they are. Anyway, so what this says is Undercrown ShadyXX cigars have been crafted to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Shady Records, an American record label specializing in hip-hop music, founded by Eminem and his manager, Paul Rosenberg, in 1999. Underground ShadyXX is a stout powerhouse blend of Nicaraguan leaf, blended by Willie Herrera and the La Gran Fabrica Drew Estate team in Nicaragua, using a well-aged Mexican Otopan Negro Ultimo Corte wrapper. And yes, I'm sure I butchered the crap out of that. But anyway, so that's it. You got me. So let's do this. So here it is in all its glory. Undercrown. If you've never had any of the Undercrown series of Drew Estate cigars, highly recommend it. So I'm really curious to see what this one's going to offer. So let's get this one out. Of course, this again has that decorative band. I usually lick my fingers so I can get that thing off. Nice construction. You can see, if you can see, it's got kind of a torpedo-y, subtle, almost a half torpedo shape, box pressed. Ooh, man, that is like rich and chocolatey. I mean, you literally can smell chocolate. Like, not even like chocolate, more like cocoa powder. Wow. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. I was trying to decide whether to cut this with a guillotine or go ahead and do a V. I'm going to go ahead and do a V because I know. So a lot of times when people see that kind of shape, they they automatically assume you can't do any kind of like a V cut, but you can. No sweetness whatsoever. So we'll go ahead and place it in there like normal. See? Not a problem. Okay? Like I said, for some reason people think that you can't do that kind of a cut. You have to use a guillotine, but not true. Anyway, let's give her a little roasty toasty here. Get that sucker ready to go. Really nice draw. It's rich. Little bits and pieces from the cut, that's okay. All right, let's see what we think here. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. It's Saturday for me here, and it is a nice, beautiful day, a little breezy, blue skies in Southern California. Last week was kind of weird weather. This week it's supposed to be all in the 70s, 75 degrees, blue skies. So our stereotypical California weather. Which decided to come out and chill and have a cigar. And then I got these suckers in the mail pretty quickly. I mean, Cigars Direct, they're fast. I mean, like literally within, I think, 2 days I had these cigars at my door. I don't think I'm all the way lit here. Be a little stubborn there. Didn't want light all the way. I'm not getting that. It's funny because it smelled very like chocolatey and like cocoa. I'm not getting that. It's a little spicy. And again, I'm not a big fan of spicy cigars, but again, I'm always open to trying, and you never know. You might get that one that just hits you right, and you're like, well, that's not so bad. Again, like I said, I didn't look it up, so I don't even know what this is classified. I'm assuming this is going to be considered a full-bodied cigar. I can taste the strength to it. Yeah, right now, what I'm getting is a little peppery, spicy. Not any of the chocolate or the cocoa that I smelled on the wrapper, which I think is odd because a lot of times you'll at least get a hint from the smell of what the cigar could potentially taste like, and I'm not tasting that at all. So if it develops into that, it's a different story, but as of now, no. Try to get a little retrohaling going on so I can get past just the flavors and get to the aromas. Okay, so it's opening up a little bit. That spiciness is still there. Yeah, it's not just spicy; it's peppery. You get that. I get that flavor like in the back of my mouth. It's like in the front of my mouth. I'm getting kind of that kind of a spicy flavor, but in the back of my throat, I'm getting that kind of like a peppery taste to it. Yeah, you can tell this is a strong cigar. You can taste it. Because a lot of times you just feel like the effects of it because of the dark, you get the Maduro wrapper, you get this heavier oils, you get higher level of nicotine. So a lot of times you can really feel the effects of that stronger cigar, but you can taste it in this too. And again, because, like we know, I'm not a big fan of spicy and peppery, and that's about all this is so far. So I'm hoping it opens up to a little bit more than that, not just a one-trick pony. Because these are, they're not cheap. A box of 10 was $90. It's 10. They're $9 a piece. So it's not the cheapest cigar in the world, but I did get a $5 off coupon and free shipping. So it was $85 for, so just under $9 a piece, which is sort of what I would have expected to pay like in the like in a brick and mortar. But when I went elsewhere online, because I'll never just buy from the first place I see, everyone was higher than that. They were at $90 for a box of 10, Everyone else was like 92, 95, 98. One place was even like 104. And then a lot of places were out. Like it says on the box, it's a 2020 limited edition. So, and again, so it's been out. I just don't know how the hell I didn't hear about it. Okay, so it started to open up a little bit. I got a little something else there. I'm not sure yet. Anyway, I'm really just into it. So I'm gonna pause for a second, get into this a little bit deeper, and then we'll come back and see how this thing develops and see if it changes a little bit. So hold tight. Okay, well, I'm back, and I've gotten a little bit into this. I'm maybe a quarter in now, and there has been a little bit of a development in this cigar. So I'd say without retrohaling, all I'm really getting is that kind of spicy, peppery note. But with the retrohaling, sounds kind of crazy, but I am starting to get the very subtle flavor of chocolate, but not like milk chocolate, more like the 70% dark chocolate. Very subtle. And on one of the retrohales, I actually got this almost like a berry, like almost like a blueberry hit all of a sudden. I was like, wow, it was very distinct. I mean, it wasn't even subtle. It was like, oh my god, that tasted like blueberry. So that was not expected either. So this really shows you that if you're only ever just gonna mouth smoke a cigar and you're not going to retrohale through your nose, you're you're really limiting the flavor you're going to get. And I did a video on this talking about, that your tongue is divided up into only, like, 4 or 6 different tastes, like sweet and sour and whatever, bitter. But when you talk about your nose, your nasal cavities, and your sinuses, you can get, it was something ridiculous, like, was it 400 different aromas or whatever. You can go back and watch the video. I'll link the video below that I did all about retrohaling. But without retrohaling, you're really only getting a fraction of what the flavor of the cigar potential is. So it's definitely something you want to develop over time. And don't stress about it. It's not easy in the beginning because it's not very natural. But then it becomes very natural. And I don't retrohale every single hit either. I do it selectively. And when I want to pull more flavors, so every few hits I'm maybe retrohaling. I'm not doing it every time. The burn is nice. I mean, it's a little wonky on the back there. But that's okay. The ash looks really solid, really nice, really thick and dense. Really good color on the ash. The construction's good. The draw's really good. There's no bad aftertaste. The aftertaste actually is pleasant for being a really strong cigar, because sometimes I don't like that strong aftertaste. This is actually a pleasant aftertaste. It's like you really get the hit while the smoke's in your mouth and your sinuses, but once it's out, it just leaves a really nice, almost like a smoky flavor. But not like smoke just because it's a cigar. Smoky, almost like not almost like campfire-y smoke, like a smoky flavor. Really good smoke output too, and it's staying lit. I mean, that's another thing too. And I'll have to do an update on my humidor, because I did sort of resolve my humidor issue. Not in the way that I wanted to. I ended up pretty much had to unplug my my winter refrigerated humidor. I couldn't get it to go above 56% humidity, and I mean, I literally was just putting straight distilled water in there. So something was robbing it. I'm assuming it's the refrigeration, which it shouldn't be, because it's electro. It's not like, Freon like your refrigerator. It's supposed to not be pulling out humidity, but I could not get it above about 56%. And I unplugged it, and by the next day, the thing's running 72 degrees, 70% humidity. Just dead nuts. And it's been that way ever since. And I must have unplugged it a couple months ago. So it's very frustrating to have a refrigerated unit that you can't use for the refrigeration, or it screws up the RH. But what I'm thinking is, when I don't need it, like right now, the weather is stable enough to where it's not a big deal. So what I'll do is summertime when it's maybe hot. One of my subscribers had a good suggestion of putting the unit on a timer, like you would put your lights. Like if you're on vacation, you put your lights on a timer so they go on at night and go back off, so people think you're home. I could maybe get a timer like that and just have it just during the summertime, maybe kick on for 15 minutes every couple hours, and that way it'll just keep the temperature down, and I won't have to worry about it screwing up the RH too much. But anyway, I'll make a whole video on that. So that was a little frustrating, but but right now my cigars are smoking quite well because I don't have this really low RH. Because before, I mean, without enough humidity in your cigars, they seem to burn weird. You know, if there's too much, it's hard to keep them lit. But when they are too dry, I don't know. The burn's different. The taste is different. It has to have that humidity to get the flavor proper. Windy out here. It's blowing the smoke back in my eyes. But yeah, it's funny. It's definitely not changing at all. You're just getting that spicy, peppery hit if you don't retrohale. Again, same thing. The pepper in the back of your throat, the spice on the front, and like on your tip of your tongue. But retrohaling, yeah, you get it. I'm telling you. Yeah, you get that. And I just retro pretty heavy too. You get that almost like that 70% cocoa-y chocolate, not like milk chocolatey, but almost like the bittery chocolate. So again, this cigar, based on my flavor profile, this cigar is definitely not in my wheelhouse. But that being said, I can see where this would be an enjoyable cigar when you're in the mood for this type of cigar. And I have gone completely out of control with my pairing today. I've gone with Pepsi. And to tell you the truth, it's a great offset for this being so spicy. So for me, not being a spicy cigar guy, having that hit of sweet with the soda actually is a perfect complement, because it kind of keeps my palate from getting overly spiced, and that sugar kind of, I don't know, kind of dulls that down a little bit, keeps it actually kind of nice. It's actually good. So if I was going to, you know what, if I was, and I normally don't ever tell you this because I don't drink that much alcohol, as you know, but if I was going to pair this with something, it would probably be that Screwball peanut butter flavored whiskey that is actually from California. And as weird as that thing sounds, I'm telling you, I'll put a picture of it. Try it. It is awesome. In fact, in one of my other videos, I talked about this. When I went to it was like a liquor barn or Bevmo or wherever, the Total Wine or whatever, one of those places. And when I asked the guy who worked there about it, he showed me where it was, and he goes, "Oh, and I think there's only 1 or 2 bottles left." He goes, "Yeah, grab it, dude, because I can't keep this stuff on the shelves. People love this stuff. I can't keep it in stock." So I'm telling you, if you've never tried it, give it a go. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm almost halfway into this, and that's where it's at. It's yeah, the spice and pepper. If you retrohale, you're getting that kind of cocoa-y 70% chocolate flavor. I'm not getting that. I only got that berry hit once. I mean, maybe there's like an aftertone taste. I can sort of taste a little bit of a berry sort of thing going on. It's not really pronounced though, but you do get it here and there. So anyway, I'm gonna get a little deeper into this thing, and I'll be back, and we'll wrap this sucker up. So hang tight. All right, back in action here, and we're past the halfway point. I'd say it hasn't changed, so the original assessment is still accurate. It is spicy, peppery. On the retrohale, it's that cocoa, 70% cocoa flavor, and kind of that every once in a while you get a little berry note to it, and that's been it. That's kind of been it. I can't say enough about the construction. I mean, look at that ash is just bitchin'. The burn has been really good. A little wonky, but nothing to complain about. Solid ash, good color, good draw. It hasn't gotten bitter. It's been very consistent. So I'd say once you first light it up, it's pretty underwhelming, and then a couple minutes into it, it really starts to present the flavors, and it's a good flavored cigar. Again, it's kind of hard for me to be over the top because I like sweet cigars, and there's nothing sweet about this. But that being said, if you look at my humidor, I have a very mixed bag of stuff. Well, just like this being, referencing Eminem. If you looked at my music taste, I'm all over the place. Used to like Eminem, not so much anymore. But back in the day, I was way more into like Beastie Boys, Eazy, NWA. I loved all that old school rap, especially LA stuff. Then I'll listen to country, and then I'll listen to classical, and then I'll throw on Devo, and then my top three are Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, and Rush. I mean, so I'm all over the place musically, and I think that's fine. It's nice to have eclectic taste. And I think that's the same thing for cigars, because, there's days you feel like a sweet cigar, there's days you feel like a coffee note cigar, there's days you want just a straight up regular cigar. And so if you're, and I know several of my buddies that I ride with, would really love this. Several of the guys I ride with are very big fans of Undercrown and Maduros. Colby, Wayne, Bakes. There's a few of the guys I ride with that this would be right up their wheelhouse. So if you're into the darker cigar, the Maduro, if you're into the heavier profile, a little higher nicotine, oily, and not sweet at all, but more that peppery, spicy. If that's your jam, you're really going to like this one. And that is my jam when I'm in the mood for it, just like music. You never know what you feel like listening to, so you just got to put on whatever strikes you at the moment. Same thing when I look at my humidor, man. I open that door and I pull a couple of drawers out, and I'm like, what do I feel like today? And every once in a while it is. And for me, some of my buddies had turned me on to like the Muat, the Drew Estate. My Uzi weighs a ton. That's a really good. It's a dark, Maduro cigar, but it's not overbearing. It's that kind of like this. It's not overbearing. I have had like the triple Camacho Maduro one time, and it pretty much made me sick because it was so overwhelming. I literally had to lay down for about 20 minutes. I got basically nicotine poisoning from that cigar. It was just too much for me. And there's like the whole series from the CAO, like the Ape Hanger and the 660. Trying to remember what those are called. I'll put a picture up, but it's the whole series that had it was all based on, I think, motorcycles or pistons or something. Anyway, I'll put a picture up of the one I'm talking about. The one I'm talking about's got a red and like silver striped band on it. You'll recognize it. I'll put a picture up. Anyway, so if that's your gig, this is right in that wheelhouse. You'll totally dig this one. It's a very you can taste it's a very well built, very quality tobacco, really solid blend. Again, would it be my go-to? No. Is it going to be like a daily smoke for me? No. For me, that's always going to be on the sweeter side. But I will tell you, if I'm in the mood for this type of cigar, I'm definitely going to be grabbing this one, because this is really good, and the quality of it is really high. So for what it is, it's fantastic. Trying to keep that ash from falling all over me. So anyway, pretty far into it. Like I said, I don't tend to do my reviews where I'm smoking this thing down to a nub. I would imagine that what the cigar is presented is pretty much what it's going to present. But no bitterness, no nothing negative. You know, again, maybe it's not 100% my wheelhouse, but it's a great cigar. And you still, and I'll tell you too, I still get that little bit of wood smoky flavor in the background too. That seems to be that's that subtle aftertaste that seems to sit on your palate afterwards, and it's very pleasant. So again, overall, I'd say I would rate this very high. This is a very good cigar. So again, if that sounds like something you're down for, give it a go. I think you'll be really happy. If you know, I wouldn't want to deter you from trying this. I'd say if you don't like heavy cigars, you don't like Maduros, you don't like that at all, if you're a hardcore sweet in Connecticut type guy or girl, this one's pretty far away from that. But if you're like me, where you're kind of eclectic taste and it just really depends on the mood that strikes you, yeah, this is a damn good cigar. So anyway, I would recommend it just on the quality alone, and I would recommend it just because I think it's pretty cool. Again, Undercrown ShadyXX, paying homage to Shady Records from Eminem back in the day, 1999. So I remember it well. My friends told me I had fun back then. So anyway, enjoy the rest of your weekend, as I plan to do mine. Again, Eric SoCal Cigars, and we'll see you on the next video. See you later.